Coming up on News 5 at noon, new details on a serious Sunday crash in Sullivan County. Plus, a local college student designs some new footwear for Team USA. We have her story. It's all right now on News 5 at noon.
From WCYB, this is News 5 at noon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to News 5 at noon. I'm Preston Ayers. We begin with a look over Holston Mountain this afternoon down onto South Holston Lake, and some clouds out there as we start off on this Monday afternoon, but otherwise not a bad day unfolding. But all attention weather-wise is really off down to the coast of Florida and Georgia and Carolinas, where Debbie is really making an impact right now.
Yeah, made landfall this morning around 7 a.m. The Big Bend region there to the south of Perry and northwest of Cedar Key. It's now a tropical storm, but a high-end tropical storm with winds of 70 miles an hour, gust 85, and it's starting to slow down. Now moving to the north-northeast at 8 miles an hour, and that slower movement is going to be a big part of the story. We have a tropical storm warnings in place for much of Florida, much of southeastern Georgia, and all the way up to Charleston, South Carolina. There's a look at the radar alone, and you can see the torrential downpours coming down over much of northern Florida and into Georgia. This is going to be a slow-moving system, still a tropical storm, this time near Savannah by tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Fast forward just a little bit to Wednesday morning, it could actually move back out over the ocean, could strengthen again, and could end up being potentially a high-end tropical storm and could make landfall somewhere in South Carolina or North Carolina on Thursday morning. So still impacting the southeast over North Carolina Friday, and then finally beginning to move back out to sea, not until Saturday. I'll have more on how much rain we're expecting with this system in a little bit. Back here at home, we have a lot of sunshine. We're seeing the clouds, the fringe impacts of Debbie well down to our south and east. With the sun here, many of us around 80 to 85, with some in the 70s higher terrain. Factor in the humidity, it feels like 89 in Kingsport and a heat index of 90 in Jonesville and Rogersville. Highs today around 92. Good deal of sun, some increase in clouds late and into tonight. But coming up in a few minutes, I'll have the rest of my forecast, plus if we're going to see any impacts from Debbie as it slowly moves up the coast over the next few days.
We have new details on a serious crash from Sunday afternoon in Sullivan County. The Tennessee Highway Patrol says charges are now pending after a wreck on Highway 421. Our videographer catching some dramatic images there from the scene yesterday afternoon, where we're told two motorcyclists and an SUV appeared to have collided. According to the report, the drivers of the two motorcycles were taken to the hospital after the bikes hit the SUV when it was making a left-hand turn there into the path of the motorcycles there. Both motorcycles hit that SUV. No word on the condition of those two bike riders. Carter County deputies say they found the remains of a missing person over the weekend. It happened in the Valley Forge community around 1 o'clock on Sunday. Deputies say they found 56-year-old Timothy Waycaster on a property off of Long Hollow Road. They say that he went missing on Saturday night about 10 o'clock after leaving on a ride of an ATV. Sheriff Mike Fraley saying they believe that Waycaster died in an ATV accident. The investigation is still ongoing today. Virginia Senator Tim Kaine is co-sponsoring a bill aimed at combating homelessness among veterans. It's called the Housing for All Veterans Act. It would give veterans access to a housing voucher and add protections from housing discrimination. If it passes, the program would be phased in over a period of 5 years. New at noon, the Kingsport Aquatic Center is set to close temporarily for next month for some significant repairs. City officials announcing they're making improvements to the locker rooms and family bathrooms, as well as the lazy river and the areas of the pool facility. A $500,000 project. The facility will close in September 1st and should reopen on September 23rd. We have an update to a story we told you about a few weeks ago. The city of Elizabethton announcing the Franklin Pool will not reopen this season. The pool had closed a few weeks ago for some equipment problems. Officials had hoped they would reopen that site before the end of the season, but they say some repairs and parts were delayed at least 6 weeks. The pool already scheduled for a major upgrade in the off-season. Officials say it'll reopen next season with several new features and improvements. It's the first day of school for many school systems across our region. Several organizations in Johnson City partnering for a back-to-school bash over the weekend before the kids headed off to class. And at Freedom Hall, including a wide variety of fun and activities and free stuff for the kids, backpacks filled with school supplies, and free food and inflatables, games, and a live DJ for entertainment.
Encouragement, hope, a sense of community unity. And we are here for the common cause of positioning our children and youth for a successful upcoming academic year.
And enough supplies for about 1,000 kids. Schools heading back to class, several different systems throughout the week, this week and next week. Team USA women's gymnastics already golden, but before they left for Paris, they had a pretty cool new going away present from a Knoxville native. Frank DeLuca brings us a closer look at what she designed.
I was like, yeah, I'll paint shoes for some gymnasts, but I didn't process that it was like the USA gymnast.
No surprise, it's hard for Knoxville Catholic grad Mary Oakley Robertson to process. She never planned on painting custom shoes for people until she wore her own old pair to the beach.
Some girl saw it and was like, I need those. Where did you get them? And I was like, I painted them, but I don't sell them. Like, I don't do art for people. And she was like, no, I will pay you if you will do them for me.
She's been doing custom orders for a few years now, while also balancing a schedule as a student athlete at ETSU. And when she was approached about doing some custom shoes for Olympians, she had to hustle a little more than usual.
She was like, okay, we've got to get them out in like 6 or 7 days. I was like, well, it usually takes like 3 weeks, but I can do it. I'm going to do it.
She did do it thanks to long hours and a lot of help from her family, and the end result was pretty gratifying.
The stuff that was just in my studio is now in their hands, and they like took it. Some of them took them to Paris, and I was like, this is like the real deal. This is kind of big.
And even though she can't be in Paris, the fact that some of her work made the trip counts for something.
It's amazing. It's unreal. Like, it is an honor for them to go to the Olympics, and then just a local girl from Knoxville was able to give those amazing women shoes. It's incredible, really.
In Knoxville, I'm Frank DeLuca.
Storm Track 5 weather cameras brought to you by your locally owned Ashley.
Well, in the long term, we still have a rainfall deficit of about 1 inch for the year, but in the short term, we have a big rainfall surplus for the month, standing at 1.74 inches. It's looking dry in the Tri-Cities today and tomorrow, and many spots may end up being dry into Wednesday, too. Here's a live look in Kingsport. Mainly sunny skies, 85 degrees, but it's very humid, so it feels like 89 degrees. And humidity levels are going to be staying high today and tomorrow and get even higher, actually, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, although temperatures are going to be trending down by Thursday and into Friday. So today's forecast high of 92, feeling like 96. Heat index mid-90s tomorrow, still feeling like 93 on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in the 80s, and the heat index also into the 80s. For this evening, looking nice. Clear to partly cloudy skies. Temperatures falling through the 80s and eventually into the 70s. Sunset at 8:31. Highs today in the low 90s in the valleys, holding though in the 80s, upper 80s in places like Lebanon, and near 80 in the mountains of North Carolina. And tonight, lows dropping into the middle 60s for most. Severe threat tracker low the next few days. A small chance of a stray shower in the mountains today and tomorrow, and a few hit or miss thunder showers in spots coming up on Wednesday. So we're tracking the moisture from Debbie, already bringing some light rain to Myrtle Beach, steady rains in Charleston and Savannah. The clouds still to our south. Bigger picture shows that where the center of the storm made landfall this morning, northwest of Cedar Key, is still seeing some heavy rains at times in Tampa and torrential steady rains and flash flood warnings from Gainesville to Valdosta. And this is moving up to the north and east, but slowly. And this is a rare thing to see, a high risk of flooding over the next 3 days, stretching from North Florida into Georgia and much of South Carolina. And this part right here is for today and tonight. Valdosta tomorrow, Brunswick up to Savannah. And it is very rare to have a day 3 high risk of flooding. Charleston, Myrtle Beach, and near Wilmington. If you have travel plans to these areas over the next few days, I think I would change them because of the amount of rain that we're expecting. These bright colors indicate these torrential rains. Many spots getting 10 to 20 inches. Some spots locally around 24. So yes, 1 to 2 feet of rain possible. Savannah, Charleston to Myrtle Beach, with the heavy rain staying well to our south and east. Here's the future track. Is showing the system slowly moving onshore flow into Charleston and Myrtle Beach, and also rounds and rounds of rain even into Thursday too. Now we could see some fringe effects, a few scattered showers here, especially maybe even some steady light rains in the North Carolina mountains, but lower rain chances into Kentucky. Same thing into Friday. You may see a few fringe effects, the bulk of the rain staying well to the east. Then finally it gets kicked out by a front coming in by Saturday. So take a closer look at our future track today. Very small chance of a stray shower in the North Carolina mountains, but most staying dry. And similar conditions to Tuesday, a few more clouds. There's that slight chance of rain again, mainly in North Carolina mountains. On Wednesday, we'll see a chance for a couple of these showers or thunder showers coming in from the north and east, about a 30% chance of a passing shower or thunder shower. And also into Thursday, there's the bulk of the rain near Greensboro and Charlotte, so we'll be seeing just how close it gets. And so the forecast track, if it changes any, that'll be impacting our forecast, so continue to monitor the updates. Highs are going to be in the mid-80s again starting Thursday after being in the 90s, and we're going to stay in the mid-80s for highs through the middle part of next week, and lows will turn cooler Sunday night down to 57, so yes, turning less humid by the second half of the weekend. Today, 92. Feeling like 96, small chance of a shower, light breeze. Tonight down to 66, partly cloudy, some patchy fog. Here's a 7-day forecast. Tomorrow 91, same thing Wednesday, and close to the record highs of 94. A few chances of rain, especially south and east of the Tri-Cities Wednesday and Thursday. 40% chance on Friday, again depending on the track of Debbie. Could be breezy at times, especially mountains Thursday and Friday. Any spotty showers taper off early Saturday, so much of the weekend looking nice with highs in the mid-80s, falling into the 50s Sunday night.
Raise your hands if you like pizza. You know, I might not be able to see you, but I'm sure there's lots of you at home with your hands raised. Well, guess what? Today's your lucky day because we're having a pizza party. Instead of serving up the same old cheese pie, we thought it'd be fun to make a beefed up pizza that is nothing short of spectacular. We start by sauteing some ground beef along with a bit of garlic until no pink remains. After draining it, we stir in some fresh plum tomatoes that we've seeded and chopped, along with a bit of salt and pepper. This'll be what sets us apart. Next, we roll out a store-bought pizza dough. You could even use a pre-made pizza shell, or if you're watching your carbs, a cauliflower pizza crust. Now we spoon the tomato and meat mixture over the crust and top it with strips of provolone cheese, and into the oven it goes. And by the way, if you're not a big meat eater, you can substitute the beef with a plant-based protein. Once the crust is golden and the cheese is melted, all that's left to do is cut it into wedges and dig in. Talk about something that everyone loves and that's so darn easy and budget-friendly. The recipe for our beefy garlic pizza is online now, so you can throw your own pizza party at home as soon as tonight. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a beefy good way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Now I'm hungry. David, looks like a hot afternoon for us.
Yeah, soaring into the low 90s today and again tomorrow.
All right, thanks for sharing some time with us. More news here throughout the day online and, of course, on air at WCYB.com and Fox 39 today beginning at 5.